Here we go with some news headlines that you'll probably think, really? Because some of them are a bit strange, some a bit scary. But it's the world we live in. Like, I'm a bit confused at what MI5, Elon Musk, Tommy Robinson, like, are you for real? Absolutely nuts. But nonetheless, the first story is not such a nice one. And that was with regards to Ricky Hatton. That's quite an awful story, really. But the inquest said that he was found at home, as you can see there on screen. Basically, former boxer world champion Ricky Hatton was sadly found hanged at his home. A coroner's court heard. 46-year-old was discovered unresponsive by his manager Paul Speak on the morning of Sunday, September the 14th, at his home in Hyde, Greater Manchester. Stockport Coroner's Court was told. The details were given during a brief 10-minute hearing as the inquest into the death of the popular former boxer was opened and adjourned until March 20th next year by Alison Much, senior coroner for Manchester South. The court heard some details of the discovery of Hatton's body given by police coroner's officer Alison Catlow. The court was told Hatton was last seen by his family on September the 12th when he appeared well. But the day after, he did not attend at an event as expected, and on the morning of the 14th, his manager, Mr. Speak, arrived at his home to take him to Manchester Airport to catch a flight to Dubai. But it was then that Hatton was sadly found unresponsive. Miss Much said the provisional cause of death is given as hanging. There were no family members present for the hearing, but Miss Much said Mr. Speak was attending on behalf of the family. He sat before the bench with around 20 reporters sitting behind him listening to proceedings. Now, that's why would he not have any family there? The coroner told Mr. Speak, if I could just ask you to pass on my condolences to his family at this time. Miss Much continued, this is a straightforward legal step that the law does require you to take to move on to the inquest next year. The address of Hatton was given and his occupation as a boxing trainer and company director. Said Hatton was identified to police by Mr. Speak. And she continued, in relation to Mr. Hatton's death, I think it's right. It was Mr. Speak who found him. Catlow replied, that is correct. Miss Much then asked for a brief indication of the circumstances of the death. Miss Catlow said Mr. Hatton lived alone. He was last seen on the evening of the 12th of September by his family when he appeared well. On Saturday, the 13th of September, he did not attend an event as expected. On the morning of the 14th of September, his manager arrived at his home address to take him to Manchester Airport for a flight to Dubai. And it was there Mr. Hatton was found unresponsive. Hatton's death left his family heartbroken and his army of fans stunned. Proud Mancunian and avid Manchester City supporter, tributes poured in from across the world of boxing and the wider sporting community. Likeable, humble and a joker, Hatton, also known as the Hitman, was regarded as a people's champion and adored by thousands of fans. His all-action fighting style and down-to-earth demeanour made him one of the most popular fighters on both sides of the Atlantic. Hatton's family insisted the former world champion was in a good place, a doting father and grandfather, who had plans for the future, including his bags packed for a comeback fight in Dubai in December. But Hatton had also been candid about his mental health struggles with drink and drugs and past suicide attempts after he retired from the ring for a second time following an ill-advised comeback in 2012. His death sparked a debate over whether enough is done to help sports stars after retirement. I mean, that's a whole new discussion. I mean, blimey, I could go on for hours and hours and hours, something like that. But never enough's done. Never. Sports promoter Barry Hearn told the PA News Agency that all sports bodies and the government need to look at the issue for athletes who no longer live under the spotlight, calling on everyone to help in our small way where we can. So it needs to be done, seriously. But last week, celebrities including Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher, former England Manchester United striker Wayne Rooney and his wife Colleen, and boxers Tyson and Tommy Fury attended a memorial service at Manchester Cathedral. The service was played to the crowds outside the cathedral, and Hatton's son Campbell, who followed his father into the boxing ring, paid tribute, saying, "I can't explain how much I'm going to miss you, Dad, and that won't be making any new memories." We won't be making any more memories, but the ones we did, I will cherish forever. Hatton's daughters, Fern 12 and Millie 13, also gave emotional tributes to their father, speaking of their pride and love for him. Parents Ray and Carol said that while to his fans he was a world beater, to them he was simply their son, Richard, their little champ. Hatton won the IBF World Welterweight title in his home city in June 2005 with victory over Kostya Tszyu. He went on to fight Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao in the United States. Just an all-round horrible, shocking story. That one. It's not a story I really wanted to do. I don't like things like that. But I mean, you're not going to get anywhere if we don't talk about it. So I included that. I've done it first, so it's done. But it's just awful. The fact that no matter you're in the spotlight, whether you're in the movies or TV, sport, but maybe when you come to your end of a career, it's such a shock maybe to the system. You're out in the spotlight, and what do you do? Where do you go? A lot needs to be done with regards to mental health, without a doubt. Something that needs to be addressed, but no one ever really wants to talk about it. And the consequences literally can be fatal, literally. So the next story, I mean, we'll be doing all the updates. There won't be any more updates now until Tuesday because they're back in court Monday. So I'll get all the information in ready for Tuesday at 12 o'clock and we'll be live with regards to day 9. But they seem to have done Monday to Friday, Monday to Wednesday, and now Thursday and Friday are off. And they'll be back in Monday. So I'll gather all the information and I'll bring that to you Tuesday at 12 p.m. And then obviously Tuesdays I'll bring to you Wednesday at 12 p.m. So keep an eye out for them. I think I've got the thumbnails up ready, so get your notification bells on for that. And you can join me for the court updates. But I thought I'd throw this in because, not everyone sees them or wants to sit through all them, or they might miss them. Could be at work, could be doing whatever they're doing. But police officer tells why Polish woman, i.e. Julie Wandale, was ruled out of the Madeleine investigation. A Polish woman claiming to be Madeleine McCann is not the missing girl, a senior police officer told a court. This is the most important bit because obviously all the so-called Wandalites, Julie Wandale fans, and all the people sending her money and insulting everyone who thinks that. I was basically saying that Julia Wandale is a liar, a fraud, and a con. And Julia said, if I keep saying it, she will sue me. I said, but why? Because you're a liar, a fraud, and a con. I said, well, prove you are, because if you can't, then what I'm saying is true. because you are a fraud and you are a liar and you are a con. I asked her to come on for an interview, but she refused, saying that she doesn't do it with people that don't like her. I said, not that I don't like you, I just don't like what you're doing. But if you're that adamant you're Madeline, come on and let's have a chat. But no, she was none of it. But anyway, a DNA sample taken when Julia Wanda was arrested in February conclusively proved she was not Madeline. Detective Chief Inspector Mark Cromwell told jurors on Tuesday. There we have it. After all that screaming, after all that, like this, that, and everything else, look at me. Julia Wandell has now got it. That's what she wanted. And she knew it. She knew what the result would be because she knows who she is. I mean, I know it's lying to yourself, and then there's lying to yourself, Julia Star, but what more? Wow. But there it is. That is literally it. It's conclusively proved that she is not Madeline. All her fans, oh, well, just do a DNA test. But basically, everyone stoking the fire has got Julia to the point where she's literally now in court for like harassment, causing alarm and distress, stalking, and that's because of all the people that believed her. That's why she's gone like that, and that's why she's doing what she's doing. Why won't they do DNA tests? Well, basically, in order to protect Kate, Jerry, Sean, and Emily, I bet they felt they had to in the end. Just nip it in the bud because it's just getting ridiculous. She's literally turning up at their home. So they've done the DNA test, and there we have it. In a nutshell, she is not Madeline McCann. So the t-shirt I've got, and that is available at thewizardwords.com. Julia is not Maddie. Spot on. Mr. Cranwell is a senior investigating officer from Operation Grange, the Metropolitan Police investigation into Madeline's disappearance. And we also heard in the court that obviously only 3 people are on the case now. And obviously it's sort of like part-time. But nonetheless, I assume it's always going to be ongoing. He said he told Julia, who's 24, the results when he visited her in Peterborough prison in April, when he said to her, your sample was submitted to the laboratory and a profile was established for you. This has now been compared to the profile of Madeline McCann. They do not match. You are not Madeline McCann. Last week, the court heard Detective Constable Mark Draycott had ruled out Julia Wandelt after studying photos she had sent and comparing them with the missing girl, who had a small blemish called a coloboma of the iris on her right eye. He added, we were already aware of the condition in Madeline's eye. We're able to make that professional opinion relating to that. The expert said it wouldn't have faded in that time. Is literally what I said. I said they do not just fade and disappear over that sort of like how many years. The medical expertise is that it couldn't move and couldn't fade. We had already worked on facial recognition, etc., etc. Wandelt 24 denies stalking Kate McCann and husband Jerry between June 22 and February 2025, which is funny because don't forget she's literally posted it all over and she's done interviews. It's all over all social media, YouTube, etc. The evidence, it literally proves. So I don't know why she's even bothered pleading not guilty. It's just that just seems silly. Jurors at Leicester Crown Court were playing voicemail messages left by Julia, in which she claimed Madeline was not dead. They also had messages begging Miss McCann for a DNA test, claiming she was a 69.23% genetic match to samples from the crime scene contained in the Portuguese police files into Madeline's disappearance, which are online. 69, that's weird because, you know, human DNA is 99.9% the same. In one message, she told Ms. McCann, you are my mother. It's science. No one can deny it. In another, she said, I'm not a scammer. I am your daughter. Well, you know what they say. If you claim that I'm not a scammer, the chances are you're a scammer. She also explained away differences between her and Madeline's appearance by saying she was ugly and fat because of medication I was given, and claims to remember trying to shout "Mummy" and "Daddy" on the night the 3-year-old disappeared in Portugal in 2007. Her delusions are real. They really are. Julia Wandelt from Lublin in southwest Poland is being tried, along with her so-called supporter, Karen Spragg from Cardiff. The court has heard that Julia Wandelt sent dozens of text messages and left scores of voicemail messages on Miss McCann's phone, while the two women also turned up at the McCann's home. See what I mean? It was getting ridiculously serious. Ridiculously serious. I mean, like I say, I don't think that Sean Atwood, Ron Swatson, and all those people that believed had done her any favours whatsoever. There was literally like no chance that Julia Wandelt was Madeleine McCann. Just, it was a joke. It's just a complete and utter waste of everyone's time and effort. What else can we say? What else can we say? Facts are facts. But this story, this is worrying. This is worrying. A man admits trying to kidnap a teenager walking home from work. A man has admitted trying to kidnap a 17-year-old girl in Swindon in what police described as a terrifying incident for the victim. Abdulmawal Ibrahim Adam of Stanier Street, Swindon, approached a teenager in Princess Street near Fleming Way at around 9:30 p.m. on the 6th of March this year as she was walking home from work. As a 27-year-old started to follow her, she tried to flag down passing vehicles. When she crossed the road at traffic lights, Adam grabbed her and dragged her back across the road, said Wiltshire police. Passengers from a bus which had stopped at the lights then intervened before Adam ran off. Police said he ran down Princess Street, where he tried to talk to another woman and attempted to follow her before she got away. Adam then followed a female witness to the attempted kidnap of the teenager before members of the public intervened. The victim's mother contacted the police the same evening. Adam was later arrested and charged with attempted kidnap. He refused to engage with police and the court's process before pleading guilty at Swindon Crown Court. Detective Constable Anna McCormack said, "This was a terrifying incident for the victim, and I appreciate the significant impact this will have on the victim moving forward. I would like to pay tribute to her for the strength she has shown throughout the process. I'd also like to thank the various members of the public who assisted the victim at the time of the incident, who potentially ensured that the incident wasn't much worse than it was," which inevitably it would have been, so yes. Adam has been remanded in custody and is due to be sentenced on the 12th of December. So there we have it. I mean, not really saying much more about him, but I believe he was an asylum seeker, but you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But this is Oxford student arrested on suspicion of inciting racial hatred over a chant at pro-Palestine march. This was ridiculous. I mean, a student allegedly filmed chanting for Gaza to put Zios in the ground has been arrested. I mean, it's always going to happen, I assumed, because, like, he's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. I don't know what his problem is, but whatever his education is on Oxford, I'll be getting a refund because he's thick as, well, thick as. But the University of Oxford student is only 20. He was arrested on Wednesday, inciting racial hatred. Yes, because his chant was just stupid. I mean, it's weird, isn't it, how the actual Israel and the Jewish community get attacked by Islamic terrorism, and they seem to be siding with Islamic terrorism. I mean, has this world gone nuts? He appears to tell the crowd a steadfast and noble resistance in Palestine and in Gaza to look to be inspired by, and I don't want to yap for too long, but a chant that we've been workshopping in Oxford that maybe you guys want to join in. I mean, resistance in what happened on October the 6th with Palestine? Nothing. You didn't give two hoots about it. Palestine voted in Hamas. I mean, this makes zero sense. So if they're that bothered, how come they weren't doing something before October the 7th? No. But as soon as they decide, and Palestine, who voted in Hamas and cheered on October the 7th, done what they done, you then turn around and say, right, we're against the Jews. Jews haven't done nothing. They've literally just been attacked. An act of war by Hamas and the Palestinians. Over 3,000 Palestinians, like I said before, followed Hamas into Israel because they wanted to kill Jews. Probably for their pay per slay. But anyway, the chant he was going on about, it goes, Gaza, Gaza, make us proud, put the Zios in the ground. Is he backwards? Don't actually make, don't really rhyme very well either. But what an absolute stupid thing to say. You literally want to put the Jews in the ground, bearing in mind they've just been victims of an Islamic terrorist attack. Really? A Metropolitan Police statement said officers investigating chants filmed at Palestine coalition demonstration in central London on Saturday, the 11th of October, have made an arrest. A 20-year-old man was arrested at an address in Oxfordshire on Wednesday, the 15th of October, on suspicion of inciting racial hatred. He remains in police custody. The student is also understood to have been suspended by his university, and rightly so. A university spokesman said an Oxford University student was arrested in the early hours of Wednesday, the 15th of October. The precise basis for the arrest has not yet been disclosed to the university. While the university cannot comment on individual student cases, it has the power to take immediate and proportionate action, including, as appropriate, suspending a student from membership of the university whenever serious concerns are raised. I wouldn't be having him back. I mean, you got that mentality, that'd be it. Like, just go. You can't educate stupid. Oxford University is unequivocal. There is no place for hatred, anti-Semitism, or discrimination within our community, and we will always act to protect the safety and dignity of our students. The alleged comments were made a day after a ceasefire in the first phase of a peace deal agreed between Israel and Hamas came into effect in Gaza. And we know Hamas, they're not going to put their weapons down. They're going to be saying, oh, Israel needs to put their weapons down. And then when they do, or if they would, which Israel won't, Hamas would attack them again. There is no way on this earth Hamas will put their weapons down. They are literally out in the streets now, grabbing people and shooting them in the head. That's the mentality of all the people in Gaza. There's literally no ifs, buts, or maybes. Hamas will break the deal. It won't be Israel. They try and make out it's Israel because they're going to get the propaganda going. But Israel didn't do this and Israel didn't do that. But Hamas are already failing by not giving back the hostages. And one of the hostages is not actually a hostage. Don't know who it is. They're like, well, we've got a body here that's not actually a recognised hostage. So there's something going on. Strange. But the final story of the day was a strange one. That's why I left it till last. But how weird. Launch MI5 probe into Elon Musk covering Tommy Robson's legal fees, and MP tells the Prime Minister. What's it got to do with anyone of who pays whose legal fees? It makes zero sense. Doesn't matter. Elon Musk is paying Tommy Robson's legal fees. And what? What's that got to do with it? It's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. The Secret Service should investigate claims Elon Musk is covering Tommy Robson's legal fees, a Liberal Democrat MP has told Keir Starmer. Like, what? Are you for real? For what? What would the Secret Service? Well, oh yes, Elon Musk is paying for Tommy Robson's legal fees. And what? I mean, it's not a crime. Stupid. Liberal Democrat Deputy Leader Daisy Cooper put pressure on Keir Starmer to ramp up resources investigating the ex-English Defence League chief during a fiery exchange at Prime Minister's questions. But Why? And they got to throw an ex-English Defence League. Because as soon as that English Defence League started going down the wrong thing, Tommy left. So they keep throwing that in. They also like to say, oh, real name, Stephen Yaxley Lennon. Oh, he's not really going under his real name. Oh, as if that's some big thing. And people are just bored of it. This keeper said on Monday, the far-right racist hate preacher Tommy Rom... Racist hate preacher? Really? Is that what you come up with? Who is this woman? I've never heard of her before. Daisy Cooper. I mean, a heads up with the daisies anyway. I mean, what is she on about? Racist hate preacher? How is he racist? That is... See, that in itself, if I was Tommy Robinson, I'd be suing for that. Like, no. Prove I'm racist. He hasn't said or done anything that's racist. That's disgraceful. So this Daisy Cooper, well, Liberal Democrat, that's them screwed because everyone's just going to turn on them, aren't they? But wait, I ain't voting for you. You're doomed. Well done, Daisy Cooper. Talk absolute rubbish, lie, and then people will call you out on it. Simple. But anyway, who is currently on trial for allegedly refusing to comply with counter-terror police, claim that his legal costs are being paid by Elon Musk. All shock horror. I don't know about you, but like that's not here nor there. I literally do not care who's paying his legal fees. What I do care about is that the fact that they sort of stopped him and everything from that on was just like basically illegal. But you know, it's outrageous that a man who has so much control over what people read online every day could be funding who stokes far-right extremism on our streets. Far-right extremism, wow. She's getting all the buzzwords in there. I mean, she is pathetic. That's it for Liberal Democrats. Won't be looking at them. If this was Putin, the government surely would act. So she's trying to compare Tommy Robinson to Putin or what? I mean, this woman's retarded. So will the Prime Minister commission the security services to assess the threat that Elon Musk poses to our democracy and recommend measures to this House that we can take to stop it? Shut up. Shut up. I'll be like, no, shut up. What are you on about? Prime Minister responded by revealing his Labour government will continue to monitor potential threats to democracy. How is Elon Musk paying for Tommy Robinson's court case got anything to do with democracy? I mean, are they clutching at straws here and still not actually managing to grab a straw? This is stupid. I can tell her we do not look across the board at threats to our democracy and must continue to do so. Oh, we do look across the board. I won't comment on a particular case, given the state of the legal proceedings. Mr. Cooper's comments at Prime Minister questions came just days after Mr. Robinson's trial at Westminster Magistrate Court was delayed by 3 weeks to accommodate his trip to Israel. He's a guest of the Israeli government in Israel tomorrow. Alistair Williamson KC told Westminster Magistrate Court. District Judge Sam Guzzi responded by telling Mr. Robinson that he would accommodate his current travel arrangements by adjourning his decision until November the 4th. He could have done it on the day, to be fair. Not guilty. End of. In a social media post, Robinson said, "None of my trials behind me. I will have my verdict handed down on November the 4th in London. I'm leaving soon for a trip to Israel, a proud patriot coming tomorrow to stand with the Jewish state and deepen my understanding of the fight against jihad." 42-year-old also claimed Tesla chief Elon Musk was covering his legal costs. Mr. Robinson said, "Thank you to Elon Musk for standing by me and covering my legal costs." Mr. Musk also appeared at Mr. Robinson's United Kingdom rally last month. But, yeah. Keir's government has become increasingly wary of Mr. Musk's interventions of British politics from the ex-chief's outspoken comments about grooming gangs. But he's not though, he's paying legal fees. What's that got to do with it? Or are they worried they don't like it? Or they're jealous? However, plans to block foreign donations were reportedly cancelled earlier this year for an intervention from Labour mega donor Lord Ali. Jewish community leaders have also condemned Israel's diaspora minister Amichai Chikli ahead of his visit. The Board of Deputies of British Jews and the Jewish Leadership Council said Mr. Robson represents the very worst of Britain. See, that's a lie, so you can sue for that. That's disgraceful. Tommy Robinson is a thug who represents the very worst of Britain. So anyone and everyone who supports Tommy Robinson, defends Tommy Robinson, is classed as the very worst of Britain. So that's what people think of you, ladies and gentlemen. You are the worst of Britain. Well, there we go. Don't know what you really want to say about that, but we are the worst of Britain. Say no more. But anyway, that's the news headlines I chose for today. I'll be back tomorrow. It is Friday tomorrow, so I'll be back at 7 p.m. I'll see what's going on during the day. I might do a stream during the day, depending on how things are. But I'll be back at 7 p.m. Friday, and you can actually come up and have your say. So happy days. So thank you for watching. And until then, that is the Wizard Words.